Hi, I'm Kendall Trotter.
And I'm Steve Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Update. Today's edition is sort of a continuation about short sales. Steve and I did one about a month and a half ago, I think, and we keep these about 10 minutes long, so obviously the subject is way too involved to cover in 10 minutes or even in 20 minutes. So we thought we'd give you another quick rundown of what a buyer can expect. We talked a lot about sellers and things of that nature in the first short sale video that we did, but now I know that in my own business I'm getting a lot of buyers asking me, well, I want to buy one of these because they're great deals. What can I expect? And I have buyers that are already in escrow going, hey Kendall, when's this going to close? So once again, I have Steve Hawks, probably the short sale king in Southern Nevada right now with me. So here we go. Steve, why is it taking so long?
Well, the number one complaint that buyers have with the short sales is the time frame that it takes to close on them.
Right.
That's the con. The pro is you're getting the best deal in the neighborhood. The second pro is you know that you're going to be lower than the bank-owned home that's selling. Usually in the neighborhood. So those are the two pros that you get. The con is...
Got to have a little patience.
You got to have a little patience. There's a third pro too that we forgot to mention, is that when you buy a short sale, unlike a foreclosure, when you make an offer on a short sale and the agent says it's been accepted, the short sale's been accepted, yeah, you know that you're going to get that house. Where when you make an offer on a bank-owned property, you're going to be competing against other buyers.
Always. Usually 99% of the time.
Right. So and also with the bank-owned property, once they give you a verbal, a lot of agents still keep it in and take offers. So during that period of time where the asset managers or bank is signing off on it, if another offer comes in, they'll take that. So your buyer will be out of luck. Where on a short sale, once we say you've been approved and it's been accepted, the seller signed off on it and the bank's approved it, it's yours. And actually, once the seller signs off on the offer, on the short sale offer, the buyer's not going to be competing against other buyers for that house. Right. So at least you can rest assured that if it gets accepted by the bank, which we usually get them accepted lately, you will get that property at that price.
Let's elaborate on that just for a second. What Steve is talking about is everybody's looking for a bargain, and the bargains are abundant right now. A lot of our REOs, bank foreclosures. What he's talking about is many times when you make an offer on a bank foreclosure, they're going to tell you that it takes 5 to 7 business days for the bank to respond to you because they're busy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. However, in that 5 to 7 days, you may not be the only one that makes an offer. There may be 10, 15, many times these REO listing agents are seeing multiple offers on these. So basically it's almost like an eBay auction, and they're just auctioning it up. They go over list price more often than not, I would say. And what Steve's talking about, a short sale, is you make an offer to the seller. The seller is still the legal owner.
Correct.
You make an offer to the seller. If that seller accepts your offer now, however, of course, it's contingent on bank approval, but if that seller accepts your offer, that house goes into contingent status in our MLS, meaning to all the other agents, hey, there's a deal on this.
Correct.
And
if you're the buyer and it's been accepted, you can't get bumped off that deal.
Right. Well, I guess you would have what we call first right of refusal on anything. So, that's your deal. So that is a big plus. Patience is, you're going to have to, go the distance on them, though. They're not easy deals, especially from our end of it. There's a lot more work. There's a lot more to do. However, in most cases, they are worth it to hang in there.
A lot of times, the short sales that have been sold, that's what the asset managers are comping at their properties. So the short sales are actually helping the asset managers comp the properties, which shows that the short sales have been better deals in the past than the bank-owned properties.
Right.
But you are going to have a little leeway in there on the time frame.
Let's talk about due diligence. Due diligence on a short sale. Since it is not a bank-owned property, you will be provided seller's real property disclosure, you're going to have a lot better chance of knowing the history of that house than if you would have bought a foreclosure. Because a bank will never disclose anything to you because they can't. They never live there. You're still buying it from the seller. So you'll get a real property disclosure. You'll have adequate chance to get the home inspected, just like you would do on an everyday real estate transaction.
That's another advantage. On a short sale, you will have a valid seller's real property disclosure, where on the bank-owned properties, you have to sign the waiver of your rights towards the seller's real property disclosure.
Exactly. Who pays what? I've got one right now going that they're wanting the buyers to pay for the seller's packet, the CC&Rs and rules and regulations of the homeowners association, where customarily in Nevada, it's typically a seller's cost. So, is it when we're dividing up cost? I mean, basically, in order to be approved for a short sale, the seller has to prove that he's insolvent. He has to pretty much prove that he has no money to make the payments, and they're better off to do a short sale than foreclose. So let's talk a little bit about the closing costs. Home warranty. Can we get a bank?
Usually, the bank will. Most of the time, the bank will pay 3% towards your closing cost. They will pay for a home warranty. Sometimes they'll give you money for repairs. We've had this happen where during the process of the short sale being accepted, the inside of the house, they took the fridge, they took the washer, the dryer, the dishwasher, the air conditioner, the hot water heater. Basically, they ransacked the house and took everything out. The bank did, this doesn't happen a lot, but during the short sale process, the bank did give the buyers funds to replace all that, which it does happen.
That's very generous of them. I think it would just be a deal of the bank looking at it saying, well, we better take this deal or we're going to have to foreclose and lose more money.
And the banks are starting to realize in the short sales are becoming more successful because the banks are looking at the cost that it costs them to foreclose on someone, and the average cost is about $50,000 just to foreclose on someone. Yeah. That doesn't include if they have to evict them, if the cash for keys, if the seller or if the owner or the homeowner damages the house. This is just legal fees and going through the process. It
missed payments, everything. Are they good deals? Well, this is very, very important. In my opinion, if you can get a short sale to close, most of the time, 99% of the time, you got a smoking deal. Correct. Usually.
If you go through a neighborhood and you see the short sales that have closed, you compare them with the bank-owned properties, almost 80% of the time, you'll see that the short sale at that time period was a better deal than the bank-owned property at that time.
Also, let's not forget, most short sales, you've got a seller, they still may be living in the property, hasn't been abandoned, maybe not abused as much, not in all cases, but in many cases it's people that are just, they owe more than what they can sell it for, and they're not bad people, they're still taking care of the house. By the time you get the keys, a lot of times it's move-in ready.
Yeah, a lot of times most of short sales are in better conditions than the bank-owned properties. And it goes back to also, on the bank-owned properties, a lot of people, when they move out, they're upset with the lender for whatever reason. There's some bank-owned properties that the people put cement in the pipes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's stuff that...
Take the cabinets, take the air conditioners.
Yeah, so who knows what they've done to it. On a short sale, that doesn't happen.
I was in one today. They took the pergo floors, the wood floors. They took it up and it was out. Yeah. So, anyways, we hope that this answered some of your questions about short sales. We will probably do a few more topics about short sales because it is such a thick process. It's involved. It's complicated. However, for a buyer that doesn't need to move next week and has a little time and patience, it can be the way to go. Yep. Most of the time with the short sales that I'm seeing, they're pretty much at the bottom. I don't really forecast them going another 20% because they're already down maybe 40% from where they were. They really bottom out. I think we're out of time, folks. I'm Kendall Trotter.
I'm Steve Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Update.